Hey, what's up, y'all? This is the Will and Deshaun show. And Will, how are you?
I am doing great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
That's good.
Good. So we both saw Michael,
We
the
did. The
movie,
movie.
over the weekend, the Michael Jackson biopic. Um, yeah, I saw it Monday. Was it packed at the theater? What day did you go?
Saturday.
Oh, was it packed?
Yeah.
Oh, nice,
But there was so many
nice.
showings that it wasn't like we wasn't like packed.
Oh, okay. So you had
Was
a
it packed
lot
when
of
you went?
rooms. No, I went during the day on a Monday.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so you got
Yeah.
good. So I say I went in the early afternoon.
Oh, okay.
So
And then you went on Saturday, right?
yeah.
Okay, so yeah. It was some people in there though, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah, because the weekend, depending on what theater it was,
Hmm.
you was gonna have to sit at the very front
Oh
with the
yeah, I'm
screen.
sure.
And
I'm
I wasn't doing
sure.
that.
I'm sure. So how'd you like it?
I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Okay.
I really did.
Thoroughly.
I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Hmm.
I did enjoy it. I really enjoyed it perfectly. To be honest, I knew when I first saw the trailer, I knew it was going to be good. Right?
Hmm.
Again, I'll give my gripes with it after you give how you thought about it. But
Hmm.
I knew it was going to be good. I didn't think when they say Antoine Fuqua was directing, I was like, okay, cool. The family is involved. Okay,
What
cool.
else has Anton
He's the one that
Fuqua
did
done?
Train Today.
Oh,
He
he
did a
did
lot of
Trinity.
different
I know
movies.
he's done a lot of
He's done a
stuff.
lot of different
Uh
movies.
huh.
He's a really big black director. So I like he does quality work. So I knew it was going to be in good
It was
hands.
definitely of quality.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I knew it was going to be in good hands. So I wasn't tripping about that.
Hmm.
Also, I'm going to say I didn't go into the movie. I went into the movie just wanted to enjoy things about Michael Jackson because I am a fan of Michael Jackson. I've been a fan of
Okay.
Michael Jackson since I was a kid. I didn't go into the movie like, "Ooh, what salacious thing they're gonna say about Michael."
Hmm.
Now there are some things I did not get from it. However, I knew it wasn't going to be this like hit piece or whatever, right?
Right, 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 right,
But
right,
yeah,
right.
how did you enjoy it?
It was cool.
Okay,
It was a little boring at times, if I can be super honest.
okay,
Mind you, I do fall asleep at the theater, so
you do.
so we did that there too. I thought the acting was great.
Acting was phenomenal.
I thought Jafar did great.
He
He
did do
he
a really good time.
played that role
He did
very
a
well.
good job for somebody who's just his first acting role and who had to carry something so heavy, right? He had
Yeah,
to get down his uncle's dialect, the way he speaks, the way he moves, and also learn all them lines.
yeah.
Ooh, he had a lot on his plate.
He did really good. All the actors did good, though. Of course, everyone's talking about Coleman
Oh, Colby
Domingo.
Domingo ate that.
Yeah, he
He
did
ate that as Joe
great.
Jackson.
Even the kids did good.
The little
Little
boy,
Michael Jackson
the
did
little
good
Michael
too.
Jackson boy, he did
Yeah.
a great job.
Hmm.
He was so charming.
Yeah, he was. He was. So that was good. But the story itself, to me, now I didn't go into the movie expecting any bombshells either. That's not what I expected.
Right.
But I wasn't expecting to really learn anything. Maybe I was
Mhm.
expecting to just enjoy a little bit more and get a little bit more out of Michael Jackson as far as him being humanized a little bit more.
Mhm.
I feel like it was still very much the caricature of Michael Jackson. Like this is it gave who I what I thought it was going to give, but not in a
Yeah.
good way. Like
Okay.
that's the Michael Jackson we all know. We all know
We
soft voice Michael
exactly.
Jackson. We all know Michael Jackson who likes animals. We all know they didn't tell me anything new, and I don't need a new story. I don't need like what really happened between behind the
Mhm.
scenes. But I would have liked to gotten to know Michael Jackson, the person, a little bit better through the movie. I would say
Same.
that.
Now I will agree with you on that. Like I would have liked to learn Michael.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
how did he even deal with what was his inner thoughts once he
Hmm.
was of age about the abuse that he suffered from the hands
Right.
of his father.
Hmm.
Because again, that was very light view because they only showed the little boy getting spanked one time.
Right.
Now we from documentaries and word of mouth and Jackson, things that we've seen of Michael Jackson and heard about his family
Hmm.
from family members, they were getting like beat. We talking about like slam against the wall,
Right, right,
like
right. I mean, we
like
all saw the
that,
movie,
right?
so not the
So
movie, but
the American Dream,
yeah, the
but
American
it was
Dream.
like a lot worse than that. But not only were he getting physically abused, he was getting mentally and emotionally abused, right?
Right.
Um, Even from the first thing when he in the movie when he said when he was calling him Big Nose. And like I said, I slightly had got emotional for the child, right?
Mhm.
Because I was like, this what was the seed that planted his self esteem about how he physically looked,
Right, right, right.
right? Not liking his nose. Even though somebody could be joking with you about it,
Mhm.
you don't know how people internalize that. Like I grew up dark skinned. I'm a dark skinned man.
Mhm.
I grew up being called Blackie, Tar
Mhm.
Baby, Skinny Black Crayon, stuff like that. Even though if somebody was like, oh, like even if somebody said my skin was beautiful in a sense,
Mhm.
or it never came off that, and it also came from all the dark skinned people calling me these negative things.
Mhm.
And I didn't realize how I had internalized these things because also it will give you self esteem issues
Mhm.
because I grew up in the 80s. We grew up in this whole light skin era until the dark skin movement happened.
Mhm.
You know, you never know how something implants in your mind and make you feel about your self esteem. Never did I actually want to like lighten my skin like they accused Michael of doing.
Mhm.
Um, but I can see how that can shape you and mold you in your thinking and in your life.
Yeah, I agree. I do feel like I just felt like it was very magical and very movie like, if that makes sense. It gave me Disney almost. It didn't give me biopic. It gave it because it felt like when you see the Jackson. I think we all have to remember that Michael Jackson is extremely iconic. So when you see five little boys in afros, what you automatically you gonna think of the Jackson Five.
You know, think of Jackson
When
5.
you see all the things that Michael Jackson kind of where you're gonna think of Michael Jackson. So it still was very much like focusing on the icon that Michael Jackson was and not the person who he
It
is
was more of a
was.
it was of a tribute to of what Michael
Right.
is
I would
and who
love to
he is.
learn what the writers and directors what were they thinking when they made this? Like what was their goal? What
Because
were
like I
they
said, you
aiming
wouldn't. But
for?
like I said again, not like I want to see how when Michael saw somebody do the moonwalk and practice it himself, and was like, you know what, I'm gonna do this on the Motown
Yeah,
45.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
again, Michael just did not invent that.
Right.
He saw somebody do it, he learned it, and he did it. Again, of course, we know the movie didn't get that far, but I would love to see him talk about how his creative process of creating the doing the lean. Like Michael invented that.
Right.
Like
Right.
that's something I would want to know. Like, what was he thinking, and who did he discuss this with?
Right. And I also realized that and it wasn't a bad movie. I'm not saying it was bad.
Hmm.
I expected a little bit more. And I realized that you can't compress someone's life into 2 hours.
Yeah, like
So
in the storytelling of this movie was basically Michael getting finally gaining the courage to do what he wanted to do and not what his father wanted him to do, right?
right.
And I'm going to say this: a lot of times in families, you do live up to these expectations of your mother and father, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you get to the point of breaking point of you finally want to do what you want to do. Michael
Mm-hmm.
Jackson was put into a group as a kid, right? So he had no choice in what he wanted to do. Even as he got of age, as we seen in the movie, how yeah, he was like, yeah, he could do his solo work, but he still got to do the Jackson 5 stuff. Still got to
Right.
do the family thing. And I know so many people break out to have their own identity based on who their family is. Like a
Mm-hmm.
lot of these kids, even like I think it's like Sasha Obama, Malia, one of the two, how they said she won't even use her name because she want to go and have it on her own versus
Mm-hmm.
benefiting from you know the
Obama.
Obama name,
Right.
right? And a lot of times people do want their own identity. I can very much relate to that.
I think we all can relate to that. I don't think either of us can relate to it to their scale.
No,
Yeah.
but I will say this from again, I grew up in church and my parents
Uh-huh.
were very prominent in church.
Mm-hmm.
So again, they knew me as them, but I also wanted people to know me as Will.
Right, absolutely.
Right?
Everyone
Even now
wants,
as an
yeah.
adult, I still have to establish myself on who I am and how I
Mm.
want to be addressed. Of course, my father's name is also Willie, right?
Right, right, right,
So
right.
my whole life I grew up, everybody called me Lil Willie. But now
Right.
as a 44, about to be 45-year-old man, I don't I'm not little.
Right, of
Right.
course,
I
you
get it.
grown.
Me and my
Yeah.
dad had the same name. However, address me, you can call me Will. Again, it's
Right.
me establishing who I am.
Right. Yeah. I understand that everyone has their coming of age
Yeah.
when they're like becoming who they are and they want to step out and, become an adult. I totally understand that. I do think the movie highlighted that. It did a good job highlighting that to a degree.
And
Um,
also Michael was trying to being taken advantage of.
yeah,
They didn't fully put that in the movie, but that's what was going on.
right. I think it was just time, I think it was time for him to be solo. more than
Yeah.
anything.
I mean, he's been the front facing of the group anyway.
Yeah, I think every great solo artist comes to that point where it's like, oh, all right, it's time for me to take my life to the next level, and that involves being on your own. So I totally understand that. Um, I kind of didn't like the end with all those concerts. We love a good concert, whatever, but I just felt like they threw the movie away. Like, all right, we're done. Let's just show a bunch of concerts, and we out of here.
Well, again, this is okay. The film had a lot of problems for one, right?
Right.
A lot of people.
Janet, were you?
Hold on, we
I
go.
ain't seen you
Hold
in
on.
that film.
Not too much on Janet.
Okay. Where you been
But
at?
because a lot of people did not sign off for their likeness to be shown in the movie, as
Mhm.
well as that lawsuit of the first settlement with the child case.
Okay.
That movie, literally, the whole third act had to be they had to do the reshoots basically.
So it's a lot of legal red
It's a
tape.
lot of legal red tape. Like
Yeah.
again, there's so many scenes that they shot in this movie. I would love to see the director's cut of this movie on what they really wanted the movie to be versus what we got. And I think that would have been way better than what we had, because they were going to show the allegations of what people was always talking about. They were going to show how Michael Jackson got into the Wiz. Like they were going to show these things. There were so many pivotal things not shown because certain people didn't want to, because of a lawsuit, a cause in a lawsuit, and because people didn't want to sign off on that.
I would have loved to see the Wiz.
But speaking of Janet, everybody jumping out. Janet neck. His sister Ruby wasn't in it. His brother Randy wasn't in it either. So ain't nobody talking to them. But I guess they so insignificant because Janet's also the other biggest star. So you also wanted to see her and Janet. And Michael and Janet had a really close relationship, and that we do know.
And then you said Diana didn't sign off.
Diana Ross didn't sign off either.
And that's why we didn't get the Wiz.
So that's why we didn't get the whole Studio 54 on how he met Quincy Jones and the Wiz and all that stuff.
I mean, we're expecting Janet to be in it because if you're going to have a biopic about Michael, why wouldn't Janet be? Like, that's,
Right. Because, again,
they're synonymous.
Because literally, right? They're like tied to each other. Right. However, the Michael, even though people even talking about the Jackson 5 parts, but again, they talk about the brothers and like the sisters or whatever, the siblings, it was about Michael. So Michael still had to be the main focus. We didn't want it to, if they didn't put Janet in it, yes, but then people are like, why y'all downplaying Janet's part in the movie? It's not about Janet. It's not.
And but
Janet's gonna have her own biopic.
At the end of the day, if she ain't signed off on that, she ain't signed off on it.
Clearly, I don't think Janet and I don't know. We wasn't there in the room. However, I feel like, of course, Michael Jackson from the movie, Michael Jackson been exploited since he was a kid, right? And I think now, even through posthumous, Michael Jackson is still being exploited. Michael Jackson has made more money dead than he has ever made alive.
And you think that? I think he still be like the biggest.
He's still
the most profitable artist.
Yes,
every year. He still is. That's
and
funny.
Again, because this movie, that's even more money going to be generated.
So do you think certain people didn't sign off because they didn't want to continue to exploit?
I do,
Michael.
I think Janet probably, in particular, yes.
But my thing with that is, a movie gonna get done anyway.
Because also, and she knows what they're gonna do to her as well.
But it's like,
they know the industry better than we know the industry.
Absolutely.
Right? And the industry is very exploitative. Right. So she didn't want that.
They know it through and through.
Again, like I said, yes, I don't think she had a problem. I think a little bit of the exploitation of it, but also allegedly. Okay. But yes, we are assuming. However, what I will say is that I do feel like because they didn't truly, the story that we, again, because of legal red tape and all this stuff going on, when she saw the movie, she was like, no, this ain't what how my brother was. Because again, just like you said, we didn't get to learn Michael. And that's probably another thing too. She was like, well, people don't really get to know my brother.
Right. It was,
so we don't know.
That's why I fell asleep, because it was the same story I've heard a million times.
I mean, but when you go see biopics about, especially a super rich person who's been who's cemented in history forever, I think
who's super duper famous.
I think, and I don't know, people might eat me up for this, but I think besides Jesus, Michael Jackson's the most second famous person ever.
Let's just stop right there.
I
do. Okay. And he could be. Like,
Michael also was making people faint. Okay. Right. And just like Jesus. Okay. Like y'all be fainting in church about Jesus.
All right.
Do you know somebody fainted at the theater?
That's funny.
That's how you know Michael still got power, baby. I'm telling you. That's the impact of Michael Jackson.
With that being said, that's stuff that we know. We know Michael Jackson, the entity. We don't know Michael Jackson, the person. And I think that's what I wanted more from the Bible.
And I agree with you. I kind of also would like to,
even if, let's say, I know Beyonce's story through and through.
but
Like,
we don't know
but
Beyonce.
I would, if Beyonce was to release a biopic,
And we,
I would want to get to learn who she
right.
is.
I mean, to
You
be
know,
honest, not to make this about Beyonce because we're not going to get on her, but to be honest, it's only two things we want to know from Beyonce. We want to know why y'all the elevator situation and who he was cheating with.
that's not for me.
Well, we used to
Yeah.
want to know why the girls got kicked out of the group, but we know that now.
But I'm not talking about secrets. I'm talking about the person.
I mean, also,
Yeah.
yes, of course, we still want to know, but I'm talking about main
Right.
people, like main.
And that's
Yeah,
for
we
any
do want to
biopic.
know
Like,
because
you wanna-
Beyonce is also super private as well. So
Right.
yes, we would like
Right,
to
right,
know
right.
who Beyonce is as a
Right.
real
And I
girl.
think because it's different with the Tina Turner biopic because we were so young and we didn't really know Tina. Like, we might have heard of
Right.
us. We didn't really know Tina Turner. But I think with Michael Jackson because that's our guy who we grew up kind of watching
Right.
the whole time.
Mhm.
It's like you want more from it. Like, I'm a little closer to that film than I am to the
True,
Tina
and like you
Turner.
said, even with Tina Turner's biopic, which is one of the greatest biopics ever, as well, that people don't really talk about. But I learned so much about Tina in her documentary that she did before she passed.
Right.
Because again, like I said, we were kids when Tina Turner was like at her height, right? Tina Turner
Right.
got her height in the 80s. We were like literally just born. And I didn't even know at that time, again, we're not gonna make this about other people, but I didn't know that at that time Tina Turner was like 40 something.
Yeah, her.
And I was
Yeah.
so, when I learned that
Uh-huh.
through her documentary, that
You didn't know that?
no, I didn't.
Oh yeah.
I
yeah.
did. Like,
She
I
had
didn't
a
know.
late
I just
resurgence,
assumed
yeah.
that she had been like, when she had her big like resurgence became when she became Tina Turner, the entity.
Mhm.
It was in her 40s, and that was so inspiring to me for a man in my 40s.
Right. She
A
was
lot of time
Ike Tina back then.
right.
But
A lot of
before
time
that.
when you get older, you don't feel like you can start over or have a second act.
Right.
And to know that she in her latter years, that's when she became this big
Mhm.
icon.
She kept going. I thought the movie did a good job showing that, in my opinion, the Tina Turner story.
I mean, yeah, but like I
Yeah.
said, there still was things I did not know.
And I guess maybe I need to go and watch me a Michael Jackson documentary.
That's what I said. Now it's time to go back and start watching the documentaries. about
But
Michael.
not to say the movie was still good. I'm not gonna say it was bad. I did expect a little bit more from Michael Jackson, the person. The acting was superb. Jafar was great. The dancing, his voice. And they said that was Michael Jackson's fake voice.
Yes. Again,
I would have loved to like hear
know
like,
why
you
Michael
know?
was faking his voice,
Right.
If that was his fake voice,
Allegedly.
if
Yeah,
that was.
but like, and the clothes, like it was good. It was a quality movie, you know.
It was rushed though. There's some
It
parts
looked a little thrown
they
together.
went like bam, we're here, bam, we're here, bam, we're here, bam, we're here. Like the first act, it was actually the first.
He
act,
was never a teen in the movie. He went from being a kid to being grown. Right.
Because like the first act was a little bit long, and then once they switched over to Michael being like I said a 20, I guess 18 to 20-year-old,
yeah.
it started flying by. So
Yeah.
that the pacing was a little off.
I would love to see more of the boss that Michael Jackson was, because Michael
That
Jackson
part.
didn't play that. Like he
Right,
was real
exactly.
strict, real like he was handling his business.
Yeah.
He was very confident.
He
as
still
well.
was a businessman.
Yeah.
Right, and that's one thing too. They made Michael Jackson so timid when it came down to business. Like,
Right.
Okay, yeah.
But I think they also showed
but you
him
gotta
so
tell my
young.
daddy.
Like we only got to see what 20.
Yeah. So like I said, to see Michael being bossed up and no, he won't. We didn't get to see Michael buying the Sony's catalog,
Right.
the ATV catalog.
I thought they were going to mention that.
I guess
it was
maybe
a little part. I was
maybe
like,
they'll
oh,
put that in the second part.
Yeah. So yeah,
if they do it, hopefully.
I think they will.
It's probably filmed again. The whole movie had to be reworked, so it showed a lot of things.
Yeah, I think they will. But it's a good watch. It's still a good watch. Of course, it's always good seeing your favorite artist's story and hearing the songs and seeing the different versions of them. So that part was magical, but it was more magical than personal to me. That's my final verdict of the movie.
Gotcha. Understandable.
Anything else you want to say? Or personable? I don't know.
We got what you was trying to say. All in all, like I said, I enjoyed it. Rest in peace to Michael. Hope he's doing. Well, I hope he's doing.
He good. He in heaven right now.
know,
Him and Prince and Whitney and them.
Michael,
Aretha, all of them.
One thing I will say, Michael ain't got no business being dead. Okay, like
a lot of people.
Even though we'll know if Michael would actually allow them to do a biopic of him. However, I wish he was here to be involved in it. And I feel like Michael still had a long legacy to go. Like I feel Michael has still had time to. We wanted to see Michael get old, and he didn't get a chance to.
Yeah,
Like I would have loved to see that.
unfortunately. Yeah, but don't stop till you get enough.
Don't stop till you get enough.
Oh shit! But
Well, guess you gotta remember the time.
okay.
Well,
And on
Michael
that
was-
note, we're gonna go ahead and
Yeah,
stop.
but we
get
start our
carried away.
But we start our puns.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.